Hello viewers, welcome in this new video. In today's video, I will teach you the most common mistakes in chess. Don't get me wrong, we all start somewhere and we all make mistakes down the road. But some of these mistakes are too common to happen. And I see that a lot in low league. So it's time that I tell you certain things to do and not to do. Because it's just very bad that people don't know the rules. So yeah. It's time that people learn it. For once and for all. So, if you haven't checked out the chess guide, I highly suggest you do, else this video is just completely useless for you. If you want to watch, of course, you don't have to if you don't want to, but this can be very useful for you down the road, so let's get started. I don't want to make this too long. Now, to start off, we have the early queen moves. Now, what is an early queen move? Let's say white plays e4 and we are black. We are the normal player and white is the abnormal player. So that means that white makes the mistake and not us. Let's say that we do the Scandinavian opening, which is e4 and then you know what I mean. And d5. Now, e4 against d5. Obviously, this is something that you want to pay attention to, because mostly then people are starting to do this, and you know what I mean. This is a good early queen move, let's say that, because this is part of the Scandinavian opening. Then white plays this, and black mostly played this. That's the Scandinavian defense. However, if you play the Sicilian defense and something like this happens, this is an unusual opening. And the reason this is unusual is because you don't want to do early queen moves. Why do you not want to do early queen moves? We can just simply block this attack with this. And in case he is going for a scholar's mate, which is the second move mostly, it's this, and then you get instantly mated, but not here because our king has an escape here. But we are not going to use that escape because then we will have no rights anymore to castle. So how do we block this? Do we play this? Oh, I'm so smart. We are attacking the queen. No. Because then you can still be mated. What we are doing here is we are moving this pawn forward, threatening the queen again. Then the queen slides over here, threatening again. You just sent in your knight. Now you tell me, who has an advantage here? Black or white? It's so obvious. Black has an enormous advantage, just look. Black has an advantage here, simply because black has a ton more development. You can see here some pieces on the board already, and this practically means already that the other player is doomed, because this is overextending the center, and white doesn't have any pieces whatsoever in the middle, meaning that you lose the front line. And is the center powerful in chess? Yes, it is, and you should definitely try to capture it. And that's another mistake that people do, not aiming for the center, nor trying to fight for it. If you think that the center is not powerful, you're stupid, simply because it is powerful. So you should always be aiming for that. That's another mistake that some beginners make. Not everyone though. E4 and D4 are the best moves for white. Same goes for black, but against e4, black obviously plays a different move. Either way then, try to remember this, because this is some very important information. You don't want to do early queen moves, that's just stupid. Even in blitz, it's not optional. Next up, we have the next mistake, which is moving pawns too much. What is moving pawns too much? It's moving pawns for no fucking reason and screwing your whole defense line up. Now, first, I want to show you a perfect example of how you are supposed to be using pawns. This is a perfect example of that. This is the London's opening where you are supposed to be moving pawns mostly. And it goes like this. You can see it. Okay, so this is for white, d4, then bishop c4, then you move your pawn here, you move this one to the middle, then you move this here, and then you move this here. This is practically what we call the pyramid opening. Officially, it doesn't completely go like this, but this is how you are supposed to be using your pawns in like this. Or you use it to, of course, unequip a pin, such as this. Now, here you can see the bishop has pinned the knight, so the knight can no longer protect this square. How do we unpin this? For instance, this is a perfect move because it forces the bishop away. Then the bishop has to slide out of danger, either go back a few squares or get smashed by the pawn, or he retreats there to maintain the pin. That depends on the situation, of course. But this pin is practically useless, so I guess I will go back here. But that depends on you, of course. That's your own choice to make. And yeah. But this is how you are also supposed to be using pawns. This is how you are not supposed to be using. This right here, for instance, with black, is how you are not supposed to be using pawns. Simply because there are too many open gates and knights can use outposts to attack you. This is also one of the weaknesses in the pyramid opening. However, the London system is one of the best openings and still used by the best players. It's a pretty lame opening in my opinion, but sometimes I use it too. It depends on the situation. Now, I do want to say though that I have my thoughts about these beginners, you know? I mean, like, why do they do this? Why do they hang pieces? Why do they make so many mistakes? But then we have one more mistake. Thinking that you study chess while you're not doing it. You can't study chess just by playing it. That's not one of the reasons how you can become a good master at it. The only way out to actually master it is by studying, studying, and studying. You can't just say like, oh, I'm gonna be the best, I'm gonna crush everyone. No, you need to learn new openings, you need to find new techniques. Who knows, you make your own opening, perhaps. That depends, but either way, then keep in mind that chess can be a very difficult game. However, it isn't only for the smart people, of course. Keep that in mind. But yeah, there are other things that people do in this game that are just stupid. For instance, that forks happen a lot. It's logic that that still happens in high league. But it's rare in high league. It depends truly on the player itself. One of the other mistakes that people make in chess is trading your bishop for a knight. I don't know why you will do that, but it is a mistake that people make. And the reason bishop for a knight is so bad is because the bishop has far more use in the late game, and it's just far better. It's just general far better. It's a little bit better, but in the end games, I can tell you that the bishop is far more useful. The bishop is far more useful than the knight because it has far more power. It can block an entire range from the king, and it can be so fucking annoying. Of course, it's the best if you have a rook at the end, but that doesn't always happen. And I once had an American making a huge blunder. Like, I was just playing chess then, um, and he suddenly moved his rook here in range of the pawn. I don't know how you managed to do that, but I just smacked it with the pawn and he resigned immediately. I don't even know why you would place it there. Why would you place your rook here? Like, if it's guarded by the king, then you better check that king with the rook so that you can, like, at least try to force it away. But nope, didn't happen. And that's just, I don't know, man, but that's just stupid. Like, who even makes a blunder like that? Like, I used to make these mistakes, like this. I used to make these mistakes, look. And then the pawn moves one square and you're fucked. You're down 2 points. Like, this is at least a little bit of a logic mistake. Because you can't see it at one point. But either way, then, these mistakes that I make, they became more rare. I don't really make those mistakes anymore because I look ahead right now more in my battles and I do attack more. So that's a good thing. Um, but it's just so stupid, man. How do you do a move like that? How? How? I also had once an Ukraine player that did an early queen move too and actually lost that queen. Like, my knight was then here and his queen was like here, and then he moved it here thinking that the knight could not attack it, but I attacked it and yeah, he was down a full queen. Then he resigned immediately. So yeah, I don't understand what's wrong with these people and why they do early queen moves. It's just so stupid, man. Like, the person who invented, like, the, what was it called again? The wayward queen attack. That's just an useless attack to me. Like, if you know how to counter it, and there are very good counters against it, Sicilian defense is a very good counter against almost any attack. Of course, not against, like, the, yeah, against d4 from white. Either way, then, not important. But what you should do when people play e4 and they do immediately a queen move, don't freak out and try to, like, defend it that way. And one of the good ways to do this is to, like, play against Nelson, because that is an early queen mover, and that will definitely help you up the leagues because people are just ignorant enough to do early queen moves. I don't even know why you will play something lame as that to immediately bring your most powerful piece out and just die in the combat, but okay, I guess. That's just stupid. So yeah. Either way, then, I think I'm gonna end this video because I think I'm talking a bit too long and it is requiring too much information here. Um, so yeah. I do hope everyone learns from these mistakes, as this is pretty important information if you want to improve your games. And yeah, you can't just do a move without thinking in chess. That's just the truth. Oftentimes, there is a lot of tactics and theory behind moves in chess, so try to uncover them. Goodbye, have a nice day.